vacancy. There are a lot of others, but it appears that one of them is no longer vacant. While you were sleeping, Adam Schefter wasn't. Schefter, what is the news for those just joining us?
Greeny, the New York Giants are set to hire John Harbaugh as their next head coach. He spent the day in the training facility yesterday, flew home to Baltimore last night, soon will return again to what will be his new home and his new office as he comes into the Giants organization and tries to do it for this team what Dan Reeves once did, what Tom Coughlin once did, try to restore order, get this team back on track. They've gone through a lot of head coaches themselves in recent years. They wanted to get somebody with his type of experience. They identified, targeted, and recruited him from the moment he was fired in Baltimore. Maybe even we're waiting for that moment with a lot of people thinking that John Harbaugh could be let go. Once he was let go, they sprung into action. It's been a full court press to try to get him. I think Chris Mara, John's younger brother, also has been key to bringing John Harbaugh to New York, and they got the guy that they wanted, and he will become the next head coach of the Giants, the first head coach hired in this cycle, and now we'll start to see some of the other activity pick up.
Schefter with the breaking news literally in the middle of the night last night, and so that feels like a huge moment, and you bring up some of their legendary coaches of the past. To me, I think more of, but to that point, I mean, I think more of what Ben Johnson has done and what Liam Cohen has done and what Mike Vrabel has done. Do we believe that John Harbaugh can engineer some sort of turnaround of that magnitude that quickly with this team?
I don't know if that magnitude, but I certainly see a turnaround that means that you could be a playoff contending football team, absolutely. I think the next dominoes that have to be aligned with this is who goes as their offensive coordinator, because how good Jackson Dart gets is going to really determine if those teams or if this team in New York can replicate what the Patriots and the Bears have done this year. But I do think that it matters to have a head coach that now when you think of, you go, okay, established, accomplished, stable, consistent leadership. The Giants haven't had that in a long time. They've had flashes of it, but they haven't had someone that you can sit there and say without doubt, without question, is that. But who goes along with him from his staff is going to really determine how quickly they can get 5 double-digit blown leads last year, the most in the NFL. There's talent on this football team.
And Jackson Dart is a big part of it. We talk about the quarterback, but as you assessed it, you made an interesting comment here about Dart and how it sort of shapes up within the confines of the division.
I think John Harbaugh immediately becomes the best coach in the division. And I think still Jackson Dart is the number 4 quarterback in the division. Not because he's not good. It's a talented division for quarterbacks, right? There are quarterbacks in that division. So for John Harbaugh,
Dak Prescott, Jaden Daniels.
Absolutely. And for John Harbaugh, I don't think it doesn't need to be a one-year turnaround like some of those other examples, because we know what John Harbaugh has. That's the benefit of having seen him for 18 years in Baltimore. You understand that if it takes time, it takes time. That's a commitment. Where the other ones, it's like, well, can you get something out of these guys now? Because we need to get the most out of them. These are our quarterbacks of the future. And if you can't, we'll try somebody else. I don't believe that's the case for Harbaugh.
It doesn't have to be next year. He's going to have time, but he has all of the pieces on this team to be a playoff contending team next year. You have so much talent and unique personalities. John Harbaugh is the perfect individual to come in here, rein in these personalities, and just kind of be the leader of men that handles Cam Scatterbu, Jackson Dart, Neighbors, this young defensive front that is high flying and can get going. You're 2 pieces away, right? If you get, and they're both in the same room, it's the offensive line room. If you can shore up that offensive line, whether it's in the free agency or in the draft, you have potential to maybe be, you might have the 4th best quarterback, but be the number 1 team in that division next year.
Then also that extra piece being what Danny O was saying is the offensive coordinator. Like, who's going to be the play caller? Who are they going to have pour into the young quarterback? Because the blueprint is kind of showing itself to us. You look at culture, physicality, defensive-minded. You think of McDonald. You think of Vrabel, what he's done at New England. And now Harbaugh, who's in kind of the same box as them. Yeah. Who are you going to bring in as your play caller the same way McDonald has with Kubiak, the same way Vrabel has with McDaniels?
Right, because Dart needs that development. He needs that mentorship. He needs that help in his decision making.
Which is personality.
Personality, how he plays the game.
You love the bravado, but
you want it, but you got to have it confined, and you need a play caller or someone who can develop the quarterback to understand that big picture.
Ben Johnson brings it himself. Mike Vrabel had Josh McDaniels living in the area. Basically, was in Foxborough, was not going to get another job like that. So it was perfect for him to be there. John Harbaugh's brought up the name Todd Monken. I don't know that it's automatically going to happen. He becomes one of the guys. He's up for the Browns head coaching job. He was in Tampa interviewing for the Buccaneers offensive coordinator job. There are other teams that will be looking at him. he might go with John Harbaugh, but I don't think it's a lock that happens.
Okay, so the
Just
first
yet.
domino, maybe the biggest domino, has fallen. What is keeping Adam Schefter's fingers busy now? What are we looking at as far as where we go from here, next dominoes that we expect to fall in the NFL?
I think there are two things we're watching right now. The first would be Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. They have been talking about an extension really for a couple of weeks now. It goes back. These talks didn't just get started. And they're going to continue, and there's been a disagreement on the length of that deal, what it would look like, and the money on that deal and what it would look like. And you'd like to think that the two sides, who are both motivated to make it happen, can figure out a compromise and allow him to stay in Green Bay. But they haven't done it yet. So we're waiting to see if they can do that. I would think that they can, but they haven't yet. And the other thing now would be, I think we go on to the next candidates. And I think the next candidate in the cycle to get a head coaching job, if I had to guess today, would be Kevin Stefanski, the former head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And the Titans didn't get John Harbaugh. The Atlanta Falcons didn't get John Harbaugh. Kevin Stefanski's interviewed in both those places in addition to other places like Miami, like the Raiders, like other places. So I think he's going to have an opportunity to get one of these head coaching jobs. And my guess is he has the possibility of going next.
Yeah, I love that. I think Stefanski should be the next name that makes a lot of sense after the LaFleur thing gets resolved in Green Bay either way. The thing that I found interesting about the Stefanski situation was when Mr. Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, made the comment at his press conference, he's fascinated with all these coaches that were the hot shot candidates 5 or 6 years ago. They went to a place, quarterback play was bad, and they survived it. And he was like, intimating they're not bad coaches. They were the hot shot guys 5 years ago. The quarterback play was bad. Doesn't mean that they're bad coaches. It made me think, is he going to be inclined to look at Stefanski because of the accomplishments as the coach indifferent of the quarterback play?
They are casting a wide net. There are a lot of candidates they're looking at. I would think it would be an offensive-minded coach, but again, they're going through a long list of candidates here.
And Bisciotti's team has an opening there. The Steelers have an opening. It's basically been a generation since we've seen openings in those particular spots.
3 teams in the AFC North currently have openings, which is fascinating to think. Like, you're hiring and you're keeping those other teams in mind. Who do you hire to? Who would be the best match to go up against these other teams?
Zach Taylor is the only coach right now, currently in his position in that entire division in Cincinnati. Do the Ravens wind up getting a coach that puts them back in Super Bowl contention next year? Are they right back in the middle of it next year?
Yeah, absolutely. They had the roster. At the beginning of the year, we sat here and said this is one of the best built rosters, maybe besides the Philadelphia Eagles. And injuries took place. Some guys didn't play as good as we thought they did, but they have all the pieces. They just need the right guy to be in there, which I thought was John Harbaugh. But whoever they get, they're going to have a nice recipe for success.
Yeah, to me, the Ravens would be the more favorable spot than the Steelers or the Browns. So, yeah, I would say the Ravens, if you're a head coach out there looking, that would be the spot you'd want to
Don't sleep on the Titans.
Maybe looking at something of a rebuild, even if that's not what they usually